channel, Rose Red Diamonds and Crafts. My name's Angelica. This is my end of the year wrap-up video where I will show you all my WIPs throughout the year. I will be recording tonight in a small corner of my bedroom. So I threw up this curtain right here just so that we don't have an ugly white wall behind me. It is New Year's Eve, and by the time you see this, it will be New Year's. We've got neighbors setting off fireworks right now, and my husband and toddler are also in my room, so you might hear them, but we'll see. Okay, so I'm going to look at my phone a lot because I have all my information. I spend a whole day going through everything and organizing it and getting all my information down, so it's all in a Google Doc. I should have in the description box have links to everything that I can give you links to, and then as I show you each WIP, I don't have cover photos on anything, so if you see my last video or previous videos, you'll know that I'll insert images as they come. And I do have one WIP that the cover image is glitch art, but I am not stitching it in the glitch art format, so just pre-warning you now. And then when that pops up, I won't show it for very long. But, so, let's get started. Let's see here. I started the year off, 2023, I started the year with 4 WIPs. I went into 2023 with only 4 WIPs. I am still a new stitcher. But I picked up 27 new starts, or I should say I started 27 new WIPs. And I am ending the year with 10 finishes, and I approximately stitched 117,971 stitches in the year, throughout the year, 2023. So that's about 9,831 a month. I do know that there were some months that I was more active stitching, and then while other months I didn't. So but I have I'm gonna try to keep better track this year. So anyways, let's start with the finishes first. Okay, so my first finish pull everything out. Okay, so my first finish I'm going to show you. I'm not going to show you everything in order that I stitched them throughout the year. I organized everything what would be easiest for putting in the description. So I try to group things together. So the first chart I'm going to show you technically was my first finish of the year, but let's see here. It is, I need a way to prop this. Okay, so my first finish of the year was Ramen Kitty. Okay, Ramen Kitty was purchased off Etsy by the Retro Stitcher. That was done on 18 count. The next finish is a little finish. It is called, or it's Mini Cone of Doom, which is a bonus chart from the Cryptid SAL. It is from the Witchy Stitcher, and that's also done on 18 count. My next finish that I'm going to show you is everything's I haven't pressed anything, so everything is, it's got the folds and stuff. So, Camp Crystal Lake by the Witchy Stitcher. And I believe this is the same exact fabric as that I used for the mini Cone of Doom. And fun fact about this one, I watched the first 4 Friday the 13th movies while stitching on this. I had never seen them. My next WIP I'm going to show you is also by the Witchy Stitcher. Like I said, I was grouping things together. And this is PSL Zombie. It might actually be called They're Here, but I call it PSL Zombie on 18 count that I dyed myself. I thought this WIP was going to be give me trouble because when I started it, I started with the cup, and I was using Zoto, I think, because this pattern would not fit into Pattern Keeper. So I was trying to use Zoto, and I was struggling with it. And then when I went to pick it up a couple months later and actually finished it, for some reason it was working in Pattern Keeper when I tried it again. So I don't know if there was an update or if I was just doing it wrong the first time. So the next finish I'm going to show you is Candy Corn Zombie. Also 18 count on fabric I dyed myself. Next finish, Spooky Craft Corner by the Witchy Stitcher. This one is a Patreon exclusive, so you have to wait if you wanted one of these Patreon exclusives, which I have a few to show you tonight. The Patreon exclusives for the Witchy Stitcher, they have periodically throughout the year, they will re-offer them through Patreon, but they're not available all the time. So this one was done on October 1st for Witchy Stitcher Day. I used just 2 colors, I think. The white and a variegated orange. I'm trying to show you where the light's not there. That looked okay for a second. It's a variegated orange. And I think it was my first time using variegated, or my second time. It was my first finish with variegated floss. That was on, that's 14 count black. The next finish is Crafty Bat, also from the Patreon exclusive from the Witchy Stitcher, also on 14 count, that I dyed gray. Next finish is, I know I'm going through these fast, but I've got a lot to show you and a lot to talk about. Next finish I'm going to show you is Steve the Gnome, aka Puking Gnome. I don't have a link to share for this. I just was looking online for Puking Gnome patterns, and then I just looked around until I found one that was the size that I wanted, and then and it is on a 14 count. I just looked around until I found one that was the size I wanted, and then I had to fudge the colors because the colors that they had charted weren't the colors that I wanted to use. And then Next we have, I don't think that you've seen, this might be the first time you're seeing this one. Okay, and I think this is the top. Purple Peppermint 2023 SAL is done. I'm pretty sure I showed you the border, that I had finished the border, and I could have filled in the flowers and leaves, but I decided just to leave it. I did use a gray. That's a gray. So it almost looks like pencil traits to me. That's what it looks like, is pencil stitching. And then I just used a turquoise for all the fills. So yeah, I think I finished all the fills in a month, I feel like. And I struggled with this one all year because I couldn't decide what colors I wanted to use for it, whether or not to fill in the border. I just was all over the place. So when I finished this, I just, I'm done. I'm done. We'll call it. It looks good enough. I feel like it's one of those things that if I filled it in, then I might regret it afterwards. So, because I was concerned because the blue is so dominant compared to the, and the, like, it's bold. To me, that's bold, but then it's delicate border. So I wasn't sure if I made the right choice, but I like it. I'm not in love with it, but I like it enough. So, and there's always future peppermint purple SALs. All right, and the last finish I have of 2023 is my Witcher, which I still haven't done anything with. It's still just taped to a piece of canvas. So I just have it propped up in my bedroom until I find a frame that I'm happy with. I should probably turn my ringer off. Okay, so yeah, I haven't done anything with it yet, but I'm enjoying it, very happy with it. So that was all my finishes this year. So let's get into active WIPs. Well, I guess I'll just explain as I get to them. All right, so let me zoom in. Aaron, I don't know. So this year, oh, okay, well, so the first WIP I'm going to show you is Aurora Cabin. And this is as far as I got this year. And I did drag it out a little bit more. This is a dimensions kit. And part of me has sworn off dimension kits, and then part of me thinks if there's a picture I love enough, maybe I will. Like I was considering getting the Autumn Fairy one, but I think that if I ever do another dimensions kit, I might do it how I want to do it and not follow all their strict guides. I'll still do the blends and stuff, but like the sky, all the sky, those are 6 strands. It's really thick, and a lot of the stuff that I stitch is like 1/1 on 18 count. So it's sturdy. I mean, I kind of like it, but it's also a pain in the butt. And so for this one, for this WIP, I'm gonna tell you these numbers. I stitched 7,239 stitches this year, just on this. Not sure how much love this one's going to get this year, but we'll see. More on that later. Okay. Whoa. Okay, next we're going to go Supernatural SAL by the Witchy Stitcher. Not sure where I showed you guys last time, but this is where we are now. I went and did all of the outer boxes and then all of the details and stuff that are in between. So now all I have to do is each individual square, and I was starting off with all the black detail, and I just that was my idea, is that or plan is to just do all the black detail, and then go through and do the actual creature later. So for this I put in 3,742 stitches this year, which isn't a lot. This was a very cross stitch heavy year for me, and I don't know if 2024 is going to follow suit or not. There was a lot of things that I didn't get done this year, so I don't know how much I'm gonna. I know that I would like to pull back a little bit on stitching, but we'll see. So next up, we're gonna do Seductive Kermit by the Witchy Stitcher. This is a bonus chart from the Supernatural SAL. So if you got the Supernatural SAL, I don't know if it's everybody gets it, if everybody gets it, or if it was just the pre-order people. I'm assuming it's everybody, but yeah, it was the bonus chart that came with the Supernatural SAL. So this is Seductive Kermit, and I put in 1,651 stitches so far. Okay, next up is Ghostface Valentine. This is also from the Witchy Stitcher, and this is a Patreon exclusive, so same as I said before. Patreon exclusives, they will come around. They are available every so often, so not every month. So let's see here, kind of a center start for me. So let's see if I go like this. Don't drown out. Maybe like that. Okay, I put in 557 stitches. So just a little start. It's not, it's probably it's a weekend project if I was just to, it says that it's got just over 2,000 stitches in total. So I could probably knock that out in a weekend, right? In 3 days. Alright, we've got another Patreon exclusive from the Witchy Stitcher, and this is Vintage Halloween Treat Buckets. And all these Patreon exclusive ones from the Witchy Stitcher, I'm pretty sure that I started them all in October. So, I'm putting all 3 treat buckets. Wait, I'm getting that confused. So yeah, 3 treat buckets. Or there's going to be 3. I've got 1.5. I put in 1,386 stitches on that so far. And I don't typically do 2 over 1 on 18 count, but because they're so small, I thought it would look nice this way. And I need to make sure I keep track of all that stuff in the future, because it makes a difference when you're jumping around from kit to kit, right? We got another Patreon exclusive from Witchy Stitcher. See how I try to group everything together so that when I put the information in the description box, it's all, you know, which patterns were what. So this is Ghost Family Crest, and I put in a whopping 201 stitches. However, I took the white out of the bag, and I don't know which kind of white I used. So unless I figure out which thing of white that I used, I'm probably going to frog that. I will frog it and restart it at a later date, or probably October, when I suspect all the Halloween prompts are. I want to do the 13 Nights of Halloween stitching again. Last Patreon exclusive from the Witchy Stitcher, and this is stitched spookies, mini stitched spookies. It's 3 mini patterns, but because they're so small, I just was going to stitch them in like the picture shows. So I just have the center done, and for the longest time it's a mustache. It looks like a mustache, right? All I could see is a mustache, and it took me forever to realize those are bats. It's 2 bats. So this is 14 count, 2 over 1 stitches on 14 count. So it's got that same so it's kind of thick. So just this piece I put in 766 stitches. So again, another like weekend finish if I was to sit down with this. And those weekend finishes will help out when I have challenges for finishes, when I have finishing challenges. So all those will come in play later. My next WIP got buried for a second. Okay, so the next thing I've worked on is the Arcana SAL by Uncanny Kari, which I had mispronounced the last time I recorded this, or the last time I made a Flosstube, because I had written it down wrong. And I knew something sounded wrong when I said it, but it was how I had it written down. So this is a Patreon exclusive from Uncanny Kari. It's still ongoing. So, well, first I've got the border, right? And if you see, I've got 7. Well, I just finished the 7th card, right? Technically, I'm not going to count the 0. So I just finished that, and I think that they have a whole row done. So I think we're getting ready to start the final row. So it's still going if you were to join her Patreon. And oh, and I put in 2,384 stitches on this. I think I started this in October. I forgot I made little cards. Yeah, it's an October start. If you look, I made little cards, but I made some better cards a couple days ago, so we're gonna switch those over shortly, and I'll show you those when I'm done. The next thing I'm going to show you is called Zodiac Female. It was the first pattern I ever bought off Etsy. Oh, I bought it the same day I bought The Witcher. And let's see here. I bought it because I enjoy doing the cryptid SAL, and I thought, I didn't know about monochromatic being a popular thing, so but I thought it would be fun. But all I got was part of the border. That's 400 stitches. It's a really pretty gold, so part of me didn't want to waste that color because I knew that there wasn't going to be enough floss to do the whole thing in that, so I already knew that I was going to have to use 2 or 3 different colors on this pattern. But like I said, this is something really early on, and I've acquired so many WIPs that this is going to get frogged, and I'm going to retire this as a WIP. It's getting kit down, whatever you want to call it. I'm frogging it and abandoning it, so I won't be working on this again because there's lots of other things to do, and I'm not in love with that anymore. Okay, next is, I don't really know if this one has a title or not, what the official title is. I purchased it off Etsy as well, just this last year. I think I bought it in February on Etsy. It's a lovely image. I love it. So I call it Folk Sampler by from DM Cross Stitch on Etsy. This is a 341 by 341 pattern, and this is how I got done. Okay, that is 402 stitches. I was going to do the whole thing in this color, which is 550. Yeah, 550. But see how big this piece of fabric is? This pattern doesn't work in Pattern Keeper. So you would have to use something else, and I'm not good at other apps. So I'm going to frog this and abandon this WIP as well. Like I said, this is something, I started the year off with only 4 WIPs, and when I went into March, my stitchy group, they wanted 16 WIPs, and so I thought this would be something easy. It was only a couple bucks online, and I already had all the supplies, so it was just an easy start to but I'm not gonna finish this one. So yeah, I'm gonna frog that and use the fabric for something else. Similarly, I bought this from Etsy the same time I bought the other one. This one's labeled as sampler number 208 from 2x2 or 2x2 stitch art. It is a little bit larger than the last one I just showed you. See, this is as far as I've gotten. I've put in 1,593 stitches this year. New start from March, right? March, yeah. Started this in March. I am not frogging this. I love the way this looks. This black on this pink and purple fabric. I love the way it looks, and I'm excited to keep working on this. But this is it's not something I'm going to focus on. It's just I will pick it up when I feel like picking it up, or when a prompt pops up in my Stitchy group that tells me I should work on that. Okay, next is the Hoovian SAL by the Kosher Stitcher on Etsy. I did get this free from the Facebook group, but it is no longer free on the site, or on the Facebook group. It's not free anymore. You can only purchase it from the from her Etsy shop. It had been free since March. March was the first release. So for the Hoovian SAL, I stitched 5,520 stitches just on the tortoise, and I go back and forth on whether or not I want to just leave it and just have the tortoise, or if I want to do all the rest of the pattern. So many people made adjustments, and I don't know how to alter patterns. I'm not good with doing that, so I don't know. Like I said, I go back and forth on whether that's going to get shelved, or not shelved, but if it's done, or yeah, I guess it would be shelved if I just let it sit and go back and forth. Next I'm going to show you the Halloween movie SAL from Atomic Tiki Pins. I love this fabric. I dyed it. I'm so happy with the way it turned out. So I did 5,976 stitches on this. I can't see if I'm centered, and the camera's kind of, the light is washing that out. It's closer to that. So for this one, the movies go along the outside, and I was going to expand the border to try to squeeze in more movies from her options, because you can only fit so many on the original border, and but she released twice as many, so I'm going to expand that to get it to fit more. I just will do that after this center is all done. But while I got you on the Atomic Tiki Pins, she also has several other movie SALs. She has an 80s themed, a Christmas themed. Most recently there is the horror theme, which is still going right now. She's still releasing those. So that's an active SAL right now. I do own the Christmas and the horror SAL. I was going to work on the Christmas SAL through December, but plans changed, and it required fancy floss. I think it needs krennic and stuff, and I don't have that kind of stuff. It also needs beads, so I like to just work. I primarily work off of cheap unnumbered floss, so the Halloween was easier. So I will get to that stuff at a later date. Even the horror SAL uses a glow-in-the-dark thread, and I don't have any of that. Even the Hoovian SAL actually called for the glow-in-the-dark thread, but I just used white, so I didn't do it. But yeah, she's got some really great patterns, and I do want to do them. It won't be anytime soon. I really thought that this year I would focus, that those might be like part of my focus pieces, is to get the centers on those three, the three that I own, the three movie SALs that I own. I thought I would get the whole center portion of those completed before the year was over, but it doesn't look like that's gonna be the case. You'll see why. Next is that glitch art one that I was talking about. So I'll pop it in now, and then I will take it away now. So this is Gaming Mandala from Asleep at the Stitch on Etsy. It is the first WIP I ever started with variegated floss, and part of me doesn't like the way it's looking, but I hope that with time and more stitches, it'll look better as I get more done. This is dark gray. It looks kind of purple in the light right now, but it's gray. It's a charcoal gray. So anyways, this isn't a terribly big project, even though it seems like it's taking me forever to get through it. I think I only bring it out for the occasional stitching prompt. If something comes up that requires it, I don't pick it up very often. All right. Oh, and I put in 559 stitches in that, if I didn't already say that. All right. Next up is Pokemon. This one I got into deep detail with you all in an earlier video from this year, somewhere around May, I think. April, May, somewhere in that vicinity. I would have posted a video and talked about it a lot in more detail, so I'll just give you the cliff notes. The Pokemon SAL I started in December. It was my second December of 2021. 22? Wait. I wrote it down. Where did I start? December 21. And it was my second cross stitch pattern ever that I started, the first being the cryptids. My foot's falling asleep. I need to readjust. Okay. So it's cut. I cut it. This And there was a couple of, if you see here how there's a couple of miscellaneous stitches, there was some down under here that I just cut off because this is a big piece of fabric and I could use it for something else. So in the year 2023, not counting the stitches that I frogged, again, check out the earlier video for more information. I frogged over 1,000 stitches and I put in 1,394 stitches on this pattern, or on this. And then I dropped it and I started over again. So this is Pokemon by Lord Libidin. I didn't say that before. And I put in 18,036 stitches. And I'm so close to being done with the whole top layer. So I started this in May. I started this over in May. So, so that other video was probably at the beginning of May, right before I started this. And I dyed the fabric. So, but I still have the original chart on Pattern Keeper for this because, because I need to write down exactly how many, the background, because the background counts for stitches. And since I marked it off that I had already finished all the background, I need to keep track of that because I don't want to get credit. I don't want to get my numbers messed up because I'm counting stitches. But speaking of counting stitches, I noticed that when I got to the, over here, the belly here, under the pail, this color in here is the same color that's called for the background, and I don't have that pulled, so I gotta find a color to put there, or I need to find that color and add it. And this kit, I had it in a gallon-size Ziploc bag. In fact, this is the one I had it in, but it was so hard to keep taking in and out, so I ended up using a plastic bag from a baby blanket. Until I get a better project bag for it, so it's in a baby bag. I mean, it gets the job done. All right. Next is Fish and Chips by Long Dog Sampler. This is my first Long Dog, and I love the fabric that I dyed for this. And look at the fabric. Ooh, ah. I put in 2,345 stitches this year. I really thought I would be farther on this, because I love this one so much, but I'm surprised that I haven't really sat down with it as much. And I tried, when I started this, I restarted Black Sails, and with the intention to finally finish it, and I still didn't finish it. Okay. Next is Alice Trio. Alice in Wonderland SAL from Owl Forest Embroidery. Also on some gorgeous fabric I dyed myself. It is off center. It is off center. I started in the wrong spot, but it is what it is. So I put in 2,416 stitches this year, and I'm using ecru, and depending on the angle and the lighting, you can see it, and sometimes you can't see it. So it lives that like that though. I'm not changing it. I love the way these three colors look together. So yeah, I just love that look. I like it. So I bought cones, floss cones, just for that project. I just realized that I put the wrong, I know it's Owl Forest Embroidery, but for some reason I wrote the Witchy Stitcher on it. Okay, next is Macintosh Rose by Peppermint Purple. I started this because it was free, and but it doesn't get a lot of love, so I think it's like this. So I put in 428 stitches this year. It's not very large. I'm almost halfway done with the circle, and then it's all fill and black work. So this is just for prompts. It's not something that it's not a focus project. It's just for prompts. Okay, next is Cthulhu Awakens, which I saw free on Facebook, and I have the link to it, but it's from a blog, so it's a little blog, World in Stitches UK. So it's Cthulhu Awakens. It looks like it could be from a video game or something, but I like the way the colors and the overall look of it, but I have no idea if it's like a geeky thing or something. So fandom of some sort. I mean, I know what Cthulhu is, but I'm not sure if it's from a specific something. So I put in 1,279 stitches. And I want to get the whole creature in before I start doing the other bits of it. And more hand dyed by myself. And this was just black. Nothing special about it. It's just a black that I was experimenting with. And my last WIP of the year is Grover. It doesn't have an official name. It's Grover, the monster at the end of the book. It was requested or brought up in a Facebook group. Somebody asking if it could be made, if anybody knows of the image being used as a bookmark. There's some fuzzies on it, but it's coming off. So it was supposed to be a bookmark, but I thought it would look great on a piece of 14 count. So I put in 767 stitches. And again, that is a prompt WIP, not a focus piece. Okay, and that is all my WIPs for the year. But I've got more to show you. So let's see here. Let me switch over here to this page. All right. So I have a few things to show you. First, I finally got around to making a grind guard. I made my first grind guard. For my 8x8. I don't usually use grind guards, or I've never used a grind guard, so I don't know how often I will use it. But I do know that I have some patterns like the Pokemon where it's just got a lot of fabric and I want it better contained, right? Also, I hate stitching with white fabric, and with the exception of the 14 counts, it's a little bit different, but I don't like to stitch with on white fabric, and I have a couple of new starts that have easy grid, easy count, so it's white. Okay. The next thing I'm going to show you is I finally made my first project bag. I don't know which projects I'm going to use it for, but I finally made my first project bag. Very happy with it. And then I made it a couple of siblings. I was going to say, not you. So this one, I love it. It's the smallest one of them all, but I accidentally messed up the stitching, so I'll have to frog this and fix it. I have one more piece of this fabric left, so I could just make another one from scratch, but I think I want to see if I could just fix this. So I made these, and then I made two more. I just reversed the fabrics on these. Oops. So I made two more, and I'm just trying to get a feel for it, what's most comfortable for me. Now, I love the vinyl. I wanted to do I had hoped to do the quilted backing, but I couldn't remember who did the video with a quilt, if I'm getting it confused, but I could have sworn there was a quilted back but also with a vinyl front, and I couldn't find it. So I just used Dee Dee's video and tried my best to do this. Part of me is annoyed that they're all different sizes, but it is what it is. I need practice anyways. Before I did those, I finally went and bought my first project bag though. So I got my first project bags. Off Etsy. It's so pretty. I have been eyeballing the shops, and there was a sale. Lammy's Needleworks. That's where I got these from. So I was super excited to get these, and I'm showing you them before I show you what's in them, but I'll get to that in a moment. Let's go with plans. Let's do plans, and that'll show you those shades that I just flashed you. So plans for 2024. Like I said, most of those WIPs that I showed you, most of those will go towards random prompts throughout the year for my stitching group that I'm in, which is Fandom Stitching Central. And then the ones that aren't very big, I will use those for the monthly finish WIPs. Prompts. You get points for a finish every month. You get credit for one finish. So January 1st, well, I've got an hour. I got an hour until New Year's, so I better hurry up if I want to see the countdown. So my first plan for January isn't what you think. It is Year of the Dragon. Flash a picture. Year of the Dragon. I'm going to be doing that on 14 count, and it is just a little guy, just over 2,000 stitches. That I want that to be my first start and finish of the year. Then actually, yeah, okay, we're gonna do these a little out of order. Okay, so next in this black bag I have Lost Soul by Selena Fenech. I'm doing the Story Keep version from Heeere. This was supposed to be my main focused project for 2024. This is what I had intended all year for, and then things happened. But I'm still going to start her. She's not going to be my focus piece at this time. I also got super excited when I seen this one, No Time Like the Present. It's the Modern Folk Embroideries 2024 SAL. I seen this on Michelle Bendy Stitchy's Flosstube last month. I think it was last month. So I'll be starting that. And that one, Lost Soul, I'm doing on 25 count. It's my first time ever doing 25 count. So still being scared of 25 count. I'll be doing Modern Folk, this No Time Like the Present image. It's on 18 count, but it is the easy grid. Or easy count. I don't know if there's a difference between easy count and easy grid, but they're labeled differently. And I'm going to be using the 336 is the blue, and 320. So I had the idea of a dark navy, but not an ultra dark navy. So I wanted a dark navy and like a pistachio. So a pistachio or a mint or something. I don't know. Those are the colors that are speaking to me. I did weigh other things. I thought about using mustard. The mustard like that's in the one of the example photos. And other colors spoke to me, but these were the two that I kept coming back to. Okay, I don't have anything to show for you for this next one. I will be doing Disney villains for my stitching group's year-long SAL. We're given the choice of either doing the heroes or the villains, and I chose the villain chart, so I will be working on that this year. I will probably pull the floss as needed, and I have the fabric cut. I just need to decide how I want to dye it. Let's see here. This one is the Heeere SAL for 2024, which is no longer available if you didn't know about it before now. But I will be doing Merry Mushroom 2. It's the image that spoke to me the most. And here's my new floss or WIP cards that I made with my Cricut. Because when I start writing really sloppy, and I don't have the patience to make a million WIP cards. So I made some new WIP cards, and yeah, Merry Mushroom 2. I'm hoping to keep up with that. It sounds like there's going to be 12 pages. For the SAL, if you didn't know, they offered 10 images to choose from, and they are cropped images from other image. They're cropped images of art that they already own, but they're also charted. So that's why this is number 2. Because I think there's two other cropped images from the same Amy Stewart image. So I did consider some other ones, but this is the picture that spoke to me the most, mainly because of the big tree in the background. So I don't know if you're like me, but that tree spoke to me, and the lights, the hanging lights. I needed that in my life. Those aren't my only plans, but those are my main ones. Okay. Some backup plans or other things that I plan on doing. Some other plans I plan on doing. Okay. I have. If I could get it out. I have Spring's Promise by Miss Lay Pages. This was from last year's. Is it on here? It doesn't say. This is from last year's February burp box. Oh yeah, it says it on the back right here. This is last year's chart, but it was still available, and I bought one of the fabrics that it came with. It says it's a 32 count Laguna. I really wanted the other blue. There was another one that was like a blue and green. I really liked that. Kind of looked like a duck pond, but it wasn't available. So, in fact, if you look at the picture, you can see that there's more green in it. So I feel like though this one will look just as good, the green would have popped more. So I intend on doing that this year, probably in February. Also from Miss Lay Pages, I also got this. She dyed this fabric. It's a linen, possibly, I think it's a 32 count, but the order that when I ordered it, it said 40 count. So I don't know. One of it's either mislabeled on the tag or mislabeled on the website. But I thought it would look. I've been eyeballing these flosses that's on their website. I've been eyeballing these flosses for over a year. I think these said 2021. But I've been eyeballing these forever, and I thought they would look great on this. And I'm highly considering using it for the free pattern from Owl Forest Embroidery, the pumpkin one, the autumn pumpkin. I don't know if that's the actual name, but it's something along those lines. I'm heavily considering using this for that, but I also feel like maybe I want to save this for something else, something special. Another thing, I don't have the fabric to show you because it's going to be on 18 count. It's 18 count, and I just haven't decided if I'm going to dye it or not. But I will be starting Well Suited by Ink Circles. I bought 2 of the 3 recommended flosses, which is this Krennic, which is my first time ever. Yeah, I had to double check to make sure that's what it was. This is my first time ever going to be using that, so good luck to me for that. And then I got the recommended floss, which says black, but it's like a charcoal. It is Black Sea by Valdani. In the picture, it looks like a variegated black and dark gray. I suppose it is, but in this lighting, it just looks like a charcoal. And then the recommended red that they ask you to use is called, I don't know, I'm drawing a blank, but it wasn't available. It was also Valdani, but it wasn't available. So I searched around trying to find something to sorry, had a thought. It's not something comparable, and I found Threadworks. Is why am I drawing a blank? It doesn't have the name listed on it. I'll edit it in. I think it was like Bleeding Hearts or something like that, but I just thought it was gorgeous. And so much so that I went and bought some more. I got some more Threadworks also. Everything that was listed on, I got it on 123 Stitch. So gorgeous, so much floss that I loved. So I grabbed a couple of larger 20 yards. This is 20 yards. So I got a couple more from this brand or company. I don't have them right next to me, and I don't remember where I shoved them. Probably with the rest of the floss, so not next to me. I had to narrow it down because they had some gorgeous flosses, color options. But I was considering using one of those colors for the Peppermint Purple 2024 SAL, and I didn't purchase any borders. If I do purchase one, it's going to be I'm leaning towards the Geometrica one, the square with the diamond in the center, or square in the center, whatever. I'm leaning towards that one, right? But I haven't purchased it yet, and I'm not 100% sure I'm actually going to do the SAL this year because I wasn't expecting to start all of these new starts. I knew that I was going to have a couple. I just didn't realize how many that I was going to be starting. So That's 7 new starts if you were keeping track. The Merry Mushroom, the Year of the Dragon, the Disney Villains, No Time Like the Present, the Modern Folk Embroidery SAL, Lost Soul, Well Suited, and Spring's Promise. That's 7 new starts. On top of that, I purchased 5 stamped kits. I'm not going to show them unless I actually work on them. So in a regular Flosstube, I'll show you if I actually spend time on it. I've been wanting a couple of stamped kits for when I don't have access to my tablet to use Pattern Keeper, which now doesn't seem like it's going to be an issue now because I'm not going to have to share my tablet anymore. But also if I just want to it's easy stitching, all right? You don't have to think, you don't have to count, it's right there, right? So I got 5 stamped kits, and it wasn't until after I purchased them that I realized one of them is what's it called? It's a no-no, right? It's an artist, right? So I won't show that one for sure. But what the first one I am going to open up and do is it's the stained glass dragon, and I'll insert a picture. I intend on starting that. Speaking of dragon, so this year, 2024 is the year of the dragon. So that's what made me want to get look for a fun dragon stamped cross stitch, but also when I was younger, my elementary school was their mascot was dragons. So I remember being in elementary school and the dragons was our mascot, and I remember whatever year it also was the year of the dragon, and it was a big deal. So it's kind of nostalgic in that sense that so that's the only reason why I'm excited for it being the year of the dragon. I was not born in the year of the dragon. I have no other association with it, just that the fact that I remember, because I went to the same elementary school throughout kindergarten through 6th grade, so I just have some fond memories at that school. So it's a little like school spirit. So Year of the Dragon. The other stamped cross stitches was a Sailor Moon one, a coffee themed one, and Mona Lisa. I thought that might be fun to do. I'm thinking I'll start with her face and see how it looks before I continue the rest of it. So my backups for this year, is the 2024 Peppermint Purple SAL. I also have this kit. This is the first cross stitch I've ever bought, and it has not been touched. I've had it for 10 years or more. I bought it at Hobby Lobby. Like I said, I don't know when. It's the thing on it says 2021, but that doesn't mean anything. So it was after 2021. So yeah. Anyways, this is the first cross stitch I ever bought, and I bought it because I wanted something to craft and keep my hands busy, and I wanted to get a latch hook kit, but they didn't have any that I liked. And then yeah, none of the latch hooks were speaking to me, and I thought, oh well, cross stitch sounds like it'll be easy. Like I never cross stitched before, and I assumed it was a stamped cross stitch. I assumed all cross stitches were stamped cross stitch. I didn't know anything about counted cross stitch, so when the fabric was blank, I was like, what the heck is this? So it sat in the closet for a couple years, and I would pull it out occasionally, and then I would get intimidated by the floss because I didn't know that floss breaks up into 6 strands. As a cross stitcher, you should, you know what I'm talking about. I didn't know that, and it's a good thing I never started it because I would have wasted a lot of thread. So now that I know how to cross stitch, now that I know how to use a kit, thanks to the dimensions and whatever, so maybe I'll touch this year. Maybe. We'll see. I also have, I had purchased the Peter Pan stained glass panel from the Mandy Manzano one from Creatively Stitching. I bought that a couple years ago, and this might be the year that I finally get around to pulling the floss for that. I just was, it was such a hassle dealing with the Pokemon that I put off doing the Peter Pan, but I think that maybe now I could actually do that. So if I feel like pulling floss for that, then I will. Yeah, those are my backup whips that I may possibly do, but we'll see. And that's everything. That is all. That is all there was. Yeah. That's everything. It is a quarter after 11 p.m. so I have to clean up, and then I will have about a half hour to till midnight, so I should go see what my family's up to. And I will edit this after everybody has gone to bed, and hopefully have this up to you guys before the sun comes up, at least here on the West Coast. So thank you guys for hanging out and sticking around for over an hour. Hopefully I won't have to cut too much in editing, and all I have to do is throw in those pictures. But yeah, I will see you guys next time, and hopefully, like I say this all the time, I try to do monthly check-ins. I try to do it at the end of the month, at the end of the month or at the beginning of the month. I try to do monthly check-in. Things happen and I don't do it. But usually at the beginning of the month is when I get the most energy to get stitching in. So I want to get started on those dragons, and then I'll start on that mushroom, and then we'll see from there. And I just want to get everything started now. So yeah. Bye. See you guys next time.